Chapter 1. You are listening at FameTV.info. Mom, don't you want a baby anymore? The milk cries of milk sounded constantly in Yifan's ear. Yifan opened his eyes with difficulty. For a moment he couldn't figure out where he was. Mom. A pair of small hands grabbed her arm, crying out of breath. Are you calling her? Yifan turned his head to his side. A child about 2 or 3 years old was watching her. The child pursed his lips, his face was covered with tears, and his eyes were red with tears. Mother, hug, you want a hug? The baby began to wax slenderly, his eyes full of expectation that he was lying on the edge of the bed, and a pair of dark round eyes looked at Yifan. He extended his hand towards Yifan, kicked his feet on the ground, and jumped up. Yifan subconsciously sat up and hugged the baby. The baby seemed scared. When Yifan picked him up, he caught Yifan's neck all at once. It should have been crying too long just now, and he was still whispering quietly. The baby twitched his shoulders, but a pair of fleshy hands kept looping around Yifan, for fear that Yifan would not respond as before. The soft body shrinks into Yifan's arms. Yifan froze instantly. She had never brought a child, and she didn't know what to do with the baby who did not belong to her. Yifan had to be careful, for fear of hitting such a small baby. It seems that because Yifan woke up, the baby in her arms gradually quieted down. Taking this opportunity, Yifan began to look at the furnishings in the room. Unfamiliar memories poured into her head. She wore a novel called True and False Thousands of Gold, which contained a cannon fodder with the same name as her. The female partner was originally a Miss Qian of the Tang family. The Tang family has a great career and is a well-known big rich man. Nyaweru has been secretly in love with Mr. Tang. She is jealous of Mrs. Tang. At the time of Mrs. Tang's birth, she dropped the children of the two. Since then, the real Qian genuine mainstream has fallen out and grew up in an orphanage, while the fake Tang gene enjoys prosperity and wealth. After that, the original owner entered the entertainment circle, and the entertainment circle was mixed with fish and dragons. The original owner was very beautiful. Many people in the circle talked about her beauty. Moreover, the original owner was only a little known dragon. Those people saw that the original owner was isolated and helpless, and they thought, but the plan went wrong. The original owner was not sent to the old man's bed, but had a relationship with the film emperor He Han. Then, the original owner gave birth to a child, and He Han knew nothing about it. After this incident, the original owner still stays in the entertainment circle. She took the child alone and became a substitute for the popular little flower Tang Jin. When Tang Jin was a child, she discovered her identity because of the accident. She always knew that she was not the blood of the Tang family. After encountering the original owner, she became suspicious and determined her identity. Tang Jin used the power of the Tang family to target her everywhere. The original owner's son has been smarter than the average child since he was a child. When he grows up, he becomes a high IQ villain. He has a distorted character because of his childhood. He has committed crimes all over the world, and the police knew he was the prisoner, but could not find any clues. Before passing through, Yifan died of her parents both because of her talent in music and the help of kind people. She attended the conservatory and became a composer. Yifan stayed up for several days because she composed a piece of music, and before the song was finished, she wore it into the world. Yifan is not too late now. Tang Jin didn't discover the identity of the original owner, and then Tang Jin wanted to frame Yifan, and Yifan could not let it happen. This time, Yifan began to look at the baby in his arms. The baby had a name, Yi Duo, and his nickname was Dudu. The baby's hands are looping around her neck, and the short fat arms are like lotus roots that are tender and tender. His little face was so chubby that he couldn't possibly get a name because of that. Yifan had never brought a child, and seemed helpless. The moment she lowered her head, she happened to face her pair of big foggy eyes. The dark pupils were extremely clean, reflecting Yifan's face. Mom! Xiao Dudu stared at Yifan without blinking. Yifan was lying motionless on the bed and scared him. Now Yifan wakes up, he just wants to rest in Yifan's arms. Yifan had never raised a child, but when he saw such a cute child, his heart suddenly softened. She looked at Xiaodudu's pure white skin, could not help but reach out and squeezed, the fingertips were fleshly touched. Ye Fan holding a muffled face, his heart melted. Why are you so cute? When Yi Fan took the initiative to hold Dudu, Dudu was somewhat flattered, and her mother suddenly became very gentle, because the child was not born under the expectation of the original owner. She was not bad at the child, but not considerate enough, not cold or even alienated. Thinking of this, Yi Fan hugged mournfully. Fat Dudu suddenly retracted his hand slowly. Yi Fan was trying to ask why, the thick round eyes blinked, and a layer of mist was cast. Mom, itch. Yi Fan stiffened, reaching out and holding up the baby's ass. Sure enough, heavy. It seems that novice mothers should start with changing diapers. Yi Fan left the bed with the child in his arms. The child's weight was not too light. Yi Fan asked him up. Based on the memory of the original owner, she found a place where urine was not wet. Dudu is 2 years old, but because the owner has been ignoring him, he was unable to quit the diaper. During the day, the babysitter will take care of the toot when he takes it. Now the babysitter is not there. Well, let's change it. Yi Fan first laid a cloth on the sofa, then she put her baby up again. Yi Fan said with ease, but when he entered the battle, he had trouble. Yi Fan tore up the wrapping paper and watched it over and over for a long time before he determined the front and back. She put a new pad under the baby's ass. The next operation was not smooth, the fixing tape stuck loose and crumbling. Yi Fan whispered, "What's wrong?" These are usually replaced by nanny. Yi Fan has no experience at all. Dudu stretched his face, a little serious. Let's do this. 2 Dui milked and taught Yi Fan. He reached out and stuck the tape behind him. Yi Fan blushed instantly. She lived so long, the first time she was so embarrassed. Yi Fan did not respond, and asked again. Mom, do you understand? Once born and second cooked, Yi Fan changed smoothly. Yi Fan held his muffled armpit and hugged him. She kissed a muffled face. Thank you for teaching me. Yi Fan brought a lot of surprises to Dudu. Usually she was not very close to Dudu. However, today one after another makes exceptions. Dudu contentedly scratched Yi Fan's face. This time, the mobile phone in the bag suddenly rang, and pointed out the direction of the ringtone. Mom, hi. Dudu made a gesture of answering the phone. He had seen others do it before, just like he learned it decently. Yi Fan's Hun took a handful of fatty meat on the baby's face. His body was faintly milky, soft and tiny. Yi Fan boasted. Dudu is so smart. Little Fat Dun could hear Yi Fan praise him. He shouted shyly, revealing the dimples on his face. Yi Fan put Dudu on the sofa and took out his mobile phone from his bag. Seeing the caller ID on the phone screen, Yi Fan's eyes were dark. Having been around for a long time, she almost forgot one thing. Prior to the relationship between the original owner and the film emperor He Han, the original owner had signed a contract and agreed to be a substitute for Xiaohua Tang Jin. Tang Jin's intimate play and play in the play must be completed by Yi Fan. He Han. Yi Fan thought silently, she didn't want to play with the film emperor. After all, the relationship between the film emperor and the original owner is complicated, and they both have a 2-year-old son. The film emperor is just a stranger to her. She just needs to let her live a good life. Yi Fan hesitated for a moment, and quickly answered the phone. Brother Zhao. Zhao Ping was in charge of the crew, and he came to inform Yi Fan. Tomorrow you have a schedule, you need to help Tang Jin film a scene, remember not to be late. Yi Fan frowned. Sorry, Brother Zhao, there is something in my family. Can I get rid of the show? Zhao Ping froze. Tomorrow is about to start filming, where can I find a suitable substitute? Zhao Ping and Yi Fan have contacted, knowing that she does not like to talk very much, is very quiet, and should not make such a request casually. Zhao Ping said earnestly. This play is very important, you still have to adjust your status, do not delay the process of the crew. Also, you have signed a contract with the crew. If you break the contract, you will have to pay several times the liquidated damages. This is indeed Yi Fan's most headache. If she now has a deposit, she can directly pay the liquidated damages, but the facts do not allow her to do so. The original owner ran for so long in the entertainment industry, and after so many replacements, all the money he saved has been paid down, and he bought this small house now. Besides, she still has decades to pay her mortgage. Even if Yi Fan sold this house, he could not afford to pay liquidated damages. She didn't want to hold her son down the street. Yi Fan gritted his teeth and agreed. Okay. After hanging up, Yi Fan sighed lightly. Turning her head, she turned to her beeping eyes, clear and pure. When she was on the phone just now, Duda sat obediently without calling her out. After Yi Fan hung up the phone, Xia couldn't wait to reach out and hugged. Mother hug. His eyes were brilliant. Yi Fan collapsed, walked quickly to the sofa, and carried the child into his arms. Now that she has come to this world, she will be responsible for her baby. Baby, rest assured, mother will take good care of you. 2K Novel Reading Network. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.